Hello, my dear students. Welcome to science class. Let us start with the lesson, chapter 6, that is combustion and flame. So, today I am going to explain about some important points related to this topic. Dear students, I'm dealing with these important points as a revision because very soon you are going to commence your unit test 3. So, the topic for the unit test portion is lesson 5 and lesson 6. So, yesterday I had sent the video of lesson 5, and most of the points are covered from the lesson. But as you all know, that still some points are there, like the table which contains the constituents of petroleum. The constituents of petroleum and its uses were not given. It was not given because still many points are there in this lesson, so that it is your work to read, understand each and every point. Questions will be asked from any corner of the textbook, okay, and also some hot questions will be there, so better to understand the lesson in a proper manner. Anyway, we are not going to give you 2 mark or 3 mark, 4 mark, 5 marks questions. So instead of that, you can be very thorough with the lesson. The main motto of this unit test is to make you to understand the topic. So what 8th standard syllabus is there, science topic is there, that you have to understand it very clearly, because again and again you are not going to get the same topic, but that topic will be a continuation of this units. So today we are going to learn about the 6th chapter, that is combustion and flame. So the first question, the chemical process in which substance react with oxygen to give off heat is called combustion. So combustion is a chemical process in which the substance is nothing but a fuel, reacts with oxygen to give off heat and also light, and that process is called combustion. The substance that undergo combustion is called a fuel, and we have learned about the different types of fuel like solid, liquid and gaseous fuel. So you have to remember the names of the fuels, different fuels. Then what is ignition temperature? The lowest temperature at which the substance catches fire is called ignition temperature. Very important to remember this point. So what is the question? What is ignition temperature? So the lowest temperature at which the substance catches fire. So unless the substance attain this ignition temperature, it won't burn. If the substance want to burn, if you need the substance to burn, you have to heat the substance beyond this ignition temperature. So beyond this ignition temperature you have to heat the substance, then only the substance will burn. So next we are talking about matchsticks. So the first question here is, small pieces of pine wood dipped in sulfur were used as matches in ancient Egypt. So as this point tells that Egyptians were the first were the people to invent these matchsticks. And how did they use their matchsticks? It was by using a piece of pine wood. So pine tree was there, and by using the pieces of pine tree wood pieces, what they did is they dipped these wood pieces in sulfur. So sulfur is a non-metal. So and that is what the chemical combination they were used. Later, so before going to this point, I want to explain about matchstick, because last time while dealing with the lesson, I had only sent the video of the matchstick. I don't know how many of them I understood it clearly, so I want to explain it little thoroughly in this video. See, dear students, this is how the matchstick works. So matchstick is having these components. See the chemical name first, that is antimony trisulfide. Second chemical used is potassium chlorate. Third one is white phosphorus. Next is glue and wood or paraffin. Okay, so these are the chemicals used. So why glue? Glue means your gum. Gum means all these chemicals, what they are doing, they are mixing it and they are pasting it on the matchstick. So this is the stick, this is the head of the stick. So in this you can see these all chemicals. Okay, so how they are joined together? With the help of a glue, and they are using wood. This is the wood. Okay, wood, or sometimes it is paraffin also. Okay, so sometimes it is wood or sometimes it is a paraffin. So students, here this is the head of the mastic. This is the wood piece. So now what you know, this head is made up of some chemicals. Which are those here? Antimony trisulfide. Trisulfide is a fuel. So dear students, here to get fire, three things we need. What is that? Fuel, oxygen, then heat. So here which is a fuel? Antimony trisulfide is a fuel. So next you see potassium chlorate. So why do they are using this chemical? Because to give heat. So this chemical gives heat. And what about this white phosphorus? This white phosphorus, what does it do? This white phosphorus is having very low ignition temperature. Okay, so already I told this white phosphorus, if it is exposed to a normal temperature like 35 degrees Celsius, then only it will start to burn. So earlier, say I am telling earlier, white phosphorus was used as a to make this matchstick to burn. Okay, so white phosphorus will react with oxygen. Okay, so when a slight friction was used here, this is the matchbox. Okay, this is matchstick. In this matchstick, you can see here what was used is white phosphorus was used. So white phosphorus, what happened is white phosphorus, when this head of this matchstick was rubbed in this surface, white phosphorus reacted and it made it to burn potassium chlorate and antimony trisulfate. Okay, so wait, come to this. See here, but see the question here. White phosphorus proved to be dangerous non-metal used in the manufacture of mastic. So, after these Egyptians, what was used? You know, three chemical was used. What was that? Antimony trisulfide, potassium chlorate, and white phosphorus was used. As you all know, white phosphorus is very dangerous because it can suddenly burn at the normal temperature only, 35 degrees Celsius. That is why it was causing many hazards in the factory also. And also the people who was using this mastic were were find very difficult dealing with this white phosphorus. So it was very dangerous. Here, white phosphorus proved to be dangerous non-metal used in the manufacture of mastic. That is why they banned using this white phosphorus in the matchstick. Now, modern, see here, in modern, see the point is, in modern matchsticks, chemicals like antimony trisulfide, potassium chloride are used for the head of the matchstick. So these two chemicals was used for the head of the matchstick. But see, do you know, only these two chemicals was present, it was very impossible for the matchstick to burn because it needs some trigger. So what was used here? It is, see here, this white phosphorus was dangerous. So nowadays white phosphorus is not used. Then what is used? Nowadays red phosphorus is used for the matchbox. Can you see the matchbox? So matchbox will be having a rubbing surface. For this rubbing surface, powdered glass is used and also red phosphorus is used. So what happens when this matchstick is rubbed to this surface? It caused friction. Why it caused friction? Because powder glass is there. Because it is a rough surface, it caused friction, and because of the friction, what is produced? Heat is produced, and this red phosphorus, what happens? This red phosphorus will get converted into white phosphorus. Okay, so particularly we are not using white phosphorus. Instead of that, we are using red phosphorus. But when you are rubbing the mastic with the rubbing surface, this red phosphorus got converted into white phosphorus, and again this white phosphorus will burn this potassium chloride. This potassium chloride will produce heat, so that this antimony trisulfate will reach its ignition temperature, and it will okay, and it will starts to burn. So this is how a mastic burn. So there are series of so many reaction. Okay, try to understand that nowadays white phosphorus is not used directly. We are using red phosphorus. Red phosphorus get converted into white phosphorus. It will burn potassium chloride and will produce what? Heat, and that will make your fuel. This is the fuel, and this should burn ultimately. And when this fuel will burn, you will get a flame in the matchstick, and it will starts to burn. So this is the working of matchstick. So that is why they are told that nowadays for the head of the matchstick, antimony trisulfide and potassium chloride is used, and for the rubbing surface what is used? Powdered glass and red phosphorus. Okay, see the rubbing surface of matchstick contains powdered glass and red phosphorus. Next, the substance which have very low ignition temperature and can easily catch fire with flame are called inflammable substance. Okay, so inflammable substance are having low ignition temperature, and with one flame, only with one flame it will catch fire. You all know that petrol, diesel, only a lighted mastic is enough, it will burn like anything. So they are very inflammable. They should be carried or transported with utmost care. Then examples of inflammable substance are petrol, alcohol, LPG and all. So you all know that LPG we just use a lighter. Okay, with one strike of the lighter only it will starts to burn. Then the three essential requirements for producing fire are fuel, air and heat. And heat should be beyond the ignition temperature. Water cannot be used as an extinguisher if electrical equipments are on fire. We all know that water is a good conductor of electricity, and you cannot use water as an extinguisher if electrical equipments are on fire. Next point is water cannot be used to put off fire caused by oil and petrol, because water is having more density or high density compared to this oil and petrol. The water will sink down and your oil and petrol will be on the top of the water, and it will start to burn. So nothing matters if you add water onto oil and petrol. So if you are having doubt, you can put for a glass of water, if you just put a drop of oil, you can see the oil floating on the water surface. Next you see, carbon dioxide is the best extinguisher to put off to fire caused by inflammable substance like oil, petrol and electrical equipment. So you have to remember that carbon dioxide is the best extinguisher for all these types of fire. Next you see, chemicals like potassium bicarbonate, it is also called baking soda, potassium sorry, chemicals like sodium bicarbonate, that is baking soda, and potassium bicarbonate produce carbon dioxide near the fire. So these are the chemicals. If you use these two chemicals, you can get the carbon dioxide. So these two chemicals, if it is powdered or poured onto the fire, even the fire gets off because of the production of carbon dioxide gas. Next, combustion, in which a substance burns rapidly and produce heat and light with the help of external heat, is called rapid combustion. So very important to learn these 3 points, which is that rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion and explosion. So rapid combustion need the help of external heat, then only it will burn, like burning of LPG with a gas lighter. Then combustion, in which a substance burns spontaneously producing heat and light without the help of external heat, is called spontaneous combustion. So rapid combustion need the help of external heat, whereas spontaneous combustion without the help of external heat, it will start to burn. What is the example? See, especially it is white phosphorus. I written only phosphorus. Actually, it is white phosphorus burn spontaneously at room temperature. And also combustion of coal dust. See here, coal is different, coal dust is different. Means what? The powdered form of coal is called coal dust. Sometimes this coal dust is very dangerous, because it will catch fire by itself if it attains its ignition temperature. And also see here, forest fire due to sun's heat. Okay, because of sun's heat, what happens? Some dry grasses, it will attain its ignition temperature and it will start burning. And also forest fire caused due to lightning. Okay, sometimes the lightning is nothing but what it is nothing but electricity. Okay, so that will when it falls, the lightning falls, even some trees, even the green trees, okay, it will starts to burn because that much of heat electricity is transmitted. So these are all example of spontaneous combustion. So please remember this: spontaneous combustion, rapid combustion, and last one is explosion. So combustion in which the substance burns suddenly and produces heat, light and sound with the help of heat or pressure is called explosion. So already pressure is there in the crackers, especially the example is cracker. Okay, when you apply heat, what will happen? It will starts to explode with the help with producing heat, light and sound. Next, you see the substance which vaporizes during burning produces flame. So, how do we get flame? So, if any substance, especially the fuel used, if it is vaporizing, it produces flame. If it don't vaporize, it cannot produce flame. Then the outer zone is the hottest part of the candle. So outer zone, that is non-luminous zone. Okay, especially it burns with blue color. It is the hottest part of the candle. Then what is the calorific value of a fuel? The calorific value of a fuel is the amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kg of fuel. So calorific value of a fuel is the amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kg of a fuel. So this is what you have to learn. This is the definition for the calorific value. So there are so many questions related to this. For example, here I have given only outer zone. You can learn about middle and inner zone also. And here calorific fuel value of the fuel is given, and in the textbook there are so many examples of different calorific value of different types of fuel. So you have to remember that, so that you will get some questions from that also. Then calorific value is expressed in the unit, that is kilojoule per kg. Burning of most fuels release carbon dioxide gas, which causes rise in the temperature of the atmosphere. This is called global warming. Okay, because of the rise of carbon dioxide, the earth's temperature will increase, and that process is called global warming. Then burning of coal and petrol releases oxides of sulfur and nitrogen, which dissolve in rainwater and form acid rain. Already I have explained in the video that these oxides of sulfur and nitrogen combines with water and forms acid, and that causes acid rain. Then incomplete combustion of fuels release carbon monoxide gas, which is very poisonous gas, which can cause death. So even carbon monoxide gas is produced because of incomplete combustion of the fuel, and this carbon monoxide is very dangerous, which leads to death also. Then calorific value of hydrogen. So you see only two examples I have given, so that you have to study the other ones. Calorific value of hydrogen is 1,50,000. LPG is 55,000 kilojoules. Okay, and cutting of trees lead to deforestation. If you cut the trees, it is called deforestation. Only on large scale, if you are cutting it, then it is called deforestation. And if you are planting it again, it is called reforestation. Okay, so cutting of trees also leads to so many harmful effects. Then fine particles of dangerous pollutants cause respiratory system. Okay, so fine particles of all these pollutants of burning the fuels causes respiratory diseases. So all these points I have included in the revision. So better to read the lessons once again, actually, because it is a video classes. For you to help, it is to only to help you students, I have made these questions, so that you will learn this. And also if any doubts, you can call me or ask me through test. So I hope you have understood these two lessons in a well manner. If any difficulties, please consult me, and also do well your exams, and please don't stay absent. And some students, I have seen in the unit test, the students who used to get out, they have got very less marks. And and some students, they have really done well. And please don't stay absent, because that will be included as a internal that internal marks will be included for your essay 1 also. Okay, anyway, your essay 1 is also been planned, so very soon you will be having your essay 1. And your unit test is marks are also considered for internal assessment. So do well, please don't stay absent. Okay, thank you.